got today? What's on the project? What project are we working on? Fake stream media news. Is it dying? It's been dying. One thing I noticed is when Trump came in office the first time in 2016, a little bit before that, they were reporting just a bunch of fake news. And you know what? I believed it. I believed all of it. Every single word. I hated Trump. Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, Trump that. I can't stand Trump. I was even like Gavin Newsom. Who's Trump? I don't like Trump. You talking Trump to me? Like, I didn't like him. My tone has changed. But after that being said, I started seeing after his presidency that the government was, the Democrats, they were going after him. And they wouldn't stop for anything. They were coming at him with everything and anything. They were just making things up. And little by little, I was just like, this dude's getting messed with. I don't think they really like him. And I started seeing some of the stuff they were making up. And then I see it somewhere else. I'm like, wait a minute. That's not what happened. And now I really started really paying attention. And that changed my the way I see the Democrat Party, right? And mainstream media news. Years later, now I do my research extensively. I see something, and even on YouTube, right? I'll see what everyone calls clickbait. I see it on the thumbnails. I'm like, that's clickbait. And sometimes I watch, and I'll fast forward to the whole thing, and I don't see anything that resembles what they're talking about. They'll put, Fani Willis finally did it, right? And then on the thumbnail will say, it's over for her, she's going to jail, or Fani Willis in jail. And you click on it, and they're just talking about the Trump case, or what's going on, and that she should be in jail. Not that she went to jail. And again, the thumbnail says she's in jail, and then she finally did it on the bottom of the title. Finally did what? So even YouTubers try to do anything for views. And I get it, people want to get likes. People want to make money off their content. But let's do it the right way. We already have enough with mainstream media, or as I say, fake stream media. We already have enough of that. We've gone through enough with them that they falsely report everything. Just recently with Elon Musk, right? He was talking about, he was thanking the crowd, and from the bottom of his heart. And mind you, he's autistic. He's a high functioning autistic person. And, he did the whole little salute, but he kept doing this, right? He kept hitting his heart. That's the full clip. And then he's saying, from the bottom of my heart. CNN was there. And as soon as he did that, they were like, oh, wow. They didn't even finish playing what was going on. They're like, oh, wow. Our viewers know what's going on here. I mean, they're smart. And they turned it into something it's not. And it just, they're desperate. And just like anything else, there's certain people that own the media and they want to control the narrative. They are controlling the narrative. But thanks to COVID and what they did to Trump, through his presidency, a lot of people started waking up. And even more so, what he went through trying to become the president this time around, from trying to kill him to, all these lawsuits and just, oh my God, I mean, seriously. The one where he had to pay $300 and something million as a fine. When the bank themselves told the court, he didn't lie. He said it was, that it was a little pricier than what it is. Like, he said his property was worth like 500 million and the bank said it was worth 400. That's a common practice. It's not illegal. People do it every day. Their house is worth, 600,000. They want 650. It's not illegal. It's not. It's a common practice. And even they said, we got our money back. He never defaulted and such and such. But no, they're like, he lied. but there was no lie. There was no crime committed. We went, we looked at his property, we told him 400 million to take it or leave it. And he took it, we paid it, it's paid. I mean, he paid it, it's paid, and we'll do business with him again. Nope. And all these lies, and he's a felon, he's committing crimes. That's another thing, right? They're calling him a felon. You were not considered a felon until you are sentenced. So you can get charged with a felony, right? The day you are sentenced by a judge, like you are going to do 20 years, you can do 1 year, you're going to do 6 months, or time served. That's when you are considered a felon, right? If it was a felony. And what were they saying? He is a felon. I don't want no felon as my president. Well, guess what? They messed with him so much, and the media controlling all these narratives, that a lot of people were like, hell yeah, I want a felon. Look what you guys are doing to him. I have a felon any day. You know, you guys are real felons. You guys are the ones that are felons, like a Pelosi. She's worth about $240 million insider trading. Everybody's got dirt. And the reason they don't want him is because he's been exposing everybody. And he don't care. Honestly, I think he's pretty funny. You know, yeah, sometimes it gets a little out of hand, but he's a comedian. Now, I'm going to play this clip from Fox News, and they're interviewing people on what they feel about mainstream media. Check it out. Doing my little Gavin Newsom thing here.
So welcome back to Cross Country. Is the mainstream media doing a disservice to the American people? A new poll finds that 76% of Americans say that journalists should always strive to give equal coverage. But in that same poll, only 44% of journalists say the same thing. Now, this comes at a time when the trust in the media and overall news consumption rates are in the gutter. So I took to the streets to find out what the average day American thinks of the media at large. Watch. Is the media doing a good job?
Not really.
Do you think the media is doing a great job?
Not with the Biden presidency, no.
Do you think the media is doing a good job in telling the truth to the American people?
No.
No?
It's all a lie.
I think they're honest. I think they have to use a tactic to pull the people in to listen to them. So they honest, but they honest in a roundabout way.
Do you feel like they tell the truth, or do they have their own agenda?
They, of course, have their own agenda.
Well, sometimes there's people making up any kind of rumor.
Fake news?
Yeah.
They lead people in their own direction instead of the direction they need to go.
Where do you get your news from? Do you watch TV? Do you look at the newspapers, online, social media? Where do you get it from?
I no longer look at the newspapers. I go online. I get information from my coworkers, and I just do a lot of soul searching myself.
Where do you get your information from?
Newspapers. Sometimes I'll get my news from TikTok because I'm mainly on there.
What about you?
Instagram.
Twitter?
My family. Instagram.
Instagram?
Oh yeah. My dad watching TV.
Where do you get your news from?
I get it from you. I get it from your colleagues.
Now, today, they announced that now content creators, podcasters, influencers can apply for credentials at the White House, and you could be included in a press briefing. We've come a long way, haven't we? And why are they doing that? Because nobody trusts the mainstream media. Fake stream media. Nobody trusts them anymore. Nobody wants to hear what they have to say. See, I was born in the 70s, right? And I used to watch the news. The local news used to scare me. You know, if you grew up in the 80s, you know, there was a lot of kidnappers, you know, and a lot of serial killers. You know, you had the Night Stalker, you had Ted Bundy, you had all these people, you know, the Hillside Strangler, and it would scare you like, oh man, he's gonna come in my house. And then the news, the way they reported, especially the local news, it was brutal. You know, they come into your house, you know, the voices they had, and you know, the one guy I was always scared of was the guy from what's that show called? Unsolved Mysteries. The guy from Unsolved Mysteries, man, his voice was scary. Tonight, this man was on the run. And even that show, America's Most Wanted, was scary. You know, it's just the way they said things. Right? And the media, the mainstream media, you watched and they didn't really give their opinion too much. They reported the news. You know, if something was happening, they didn't sit there and talk bad about the president. They didn't sit there and talk down on this and that. And not to say that people never did. You know, if somebody felt a certain way, they said it a certain way, you know, and you respected it. Somewhere along the lines, I'm telling you, I want to say, I could be wrong, but I want to say it was a Trump presidency before Trump. They just hated him that much that it just like, you know, no holds bar. You know, everything's on the table. And they're just coming after him. And then now anybody. God forbid that the news is about you. And it's sad. And, you know, right now they're, you know, MSNBC and CNN, they're having these little wars of what they're going to do with the company. Right now, there's a lot of layoffs to CNN. Jim Acosta, they try to give him a 12 o'clock slot. And why would they do that? So they're not trying to fire him because then they got to give him a severance package, right? So they will make him quit. And he did. I thought he was going to play along with it. I would have waited till they fired me. Because now they got to give me a severance. Well, they don't have to, but most companies do. Well, if he quit, maybe he got a severance package. Who knows? You know, things happen behind closed doors. But let me read you this about the White House, the new White House press secretary. White House to open media access to podcasters and influencers. Washington, podcasters and social media influencers will be permitted to apply for credentials to cover the White House, the new press secretary announced Tuesday. In her briefing, Caroline Leavitt told reporters that a wider range of individuals will be eligible to apply for White House credentials, press credentials, We welcome independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators to apply for credentials to cover the White House, this White House, Leavitt said. That move to open up the White House is a part of the administration's aim to significantly increase the number of journalists with White House access, said Leavitt. At 27 years old, Leavitt is the youngest person to hold the White House press secretary job. The Trump White House will speak to all media outlets and personalities, not just the legacy media that are seated in this room, Leavitt said. She cited a Gallup poll showing low trust in media in the United States, particularly among younger people. As long as you are creating news content of the day and are a legitimate independent journalist, you are welcome to cover this White House, she added. Leavitt said credentials will be given to those who meet the White House criteria and pass a Secret Service background check. The credentials, known as hard passes, make it easier for journalists to attend press briefings and access the White House campus. The White House Correspondents Association did not immediately reply to VOA's request for comment. That sounds good to me. They're given a chance to a lot of influencers, podcasters, and content creators, people like yourself and Art, and me and myself. I see this going the right direction. You know, the media, there's still going to be mainstream media, but it's not going to be like before. The only thing that can change what's happening now is that these content creators, like what I was telling you about when you see on TikTok or Instagram, and they start pushing false narratives just to get clickbait. You know, so someone can go on their page and get traffic. Earlier, I seen somebody posted that R. Kelly got pardoned by Trump. I believed it, right? Because the guy I follow, he's pretty, you know, he's pretty accurate. Well, not everybody's perfect. You know, obviously he's not as accurate as I thought. I went to do my research, couldn't find anything. And then I found a video of him getting released from prison or jail. He got released on some child support thing and he didn't want to talk to the media. Everything he was wearing, the paperwork he was holding, I was like, huh. I was like, that's the same video. Again, somebody on TikTok, it was a video he got from TikTok. And it was lies. This wasn't the mainstream media. For all we know, it is the mainstream media, but just some TikToker spreading false information. And that kind of stuff, they're doing it just to get traffic. Just like the same thing is CNN and all these places. They're doing it to get traffic, but they also have, they're trying to do something else. But the social media people, they're just trying to get traffic and get money off these views. And that can ruin a lot of things. So if you're going to create content, make sure you do your homework, because the last thing you want to do is look stupid. Well, that's all I got for this project today. Again, hit that subscribe button, tell your friends, like, and comment.